yourself very much. Most people spend years chasing attraction without ever realizing they've been confusing it with seduction the whole time, and that one mistake is silently destroying their relationships. Stay with me because what you're about to learn in the next few minutes will completely change the way you see every relationship in your life. One, what most people get completely wrong. Let's be real for a second. Most people use the words attraction and seduction like they mean the same thing, but they absolutely don't. And mixing these two up is honestly one of the biggest reasons that so many relationships start off great and then fall apart fast. Attraction is something that happens to you. It's not something you plan or force. When you walk into a room and someone just pulls your attention without even trying, that's attraction. It's raw, it's natural, and it comes from deep inside both people. Seduction, on the other hand, it's a skill, it's intentional. It's the art of making someone feel something specific, guiding their emotions in a direction you choose. Now, here's the thing most people miss: neither one is bad, both are part of healthy relationships and human connection. But when you don't know the difference, you end up doing the right thing at the right time. You try to seduce someone when what they actually need is to feel naturally drawn to you. Or you wait around hoping attraction will magically keep things alive when your relationship actually needs effort and intention. Understanding this difference isn't just interesting psychology, it's the kind of thing that completely changes how you show up in your relationships, how you communicate, and how deeply you connect with the people you care about most. Two, what attraction really is and why you can't fake it. Attraction is one of the most honest things that exists between two people. You can't manufacture it, you can't buy it, and you definitely can't talk someone into feeling it. It just happens or it doesn't. But here's what most people don't understand about attraction. It's not mostly about looks, sure, physical appearance plays a role, but research and psychology consistently shows that the things that create deep and lasting attraction go way beyond the surface. Things like confidence, the way someone carries themselves, how present they are in a conversation, their values, their energy, their sense of humor. These are the things that create real magnetic attraction. Think about people you've met in your life who weren't conventionally attractive, but you were completely drawn to them away. That's because real attraction is triggered by personality, by emotional safety, by the feeling that this person really sees you. And this matters so much in daily life because a lot of people waste enormous energy trying to change how they look instead of working on how they actually are. And when you become more self aware, more emotionally grounded, more genuinely confident, not fake confident, but the kind that comes from actually knowing and accepting yourself, you naturally become more attractive to others, not just in romantic relationships, but in friendships, at work, everywhere. Attraction is the foundation. Without it, everything else feels hollow. Hey, real quick, if this is already making you think differently about your relationships, hit that like button right now. And if you don't want to miss what's coming next, because trust me, it gets even better, subscribe and turn on notifications. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps. Now, let's keep going. 3. What seduction really is and why it gets a bad reputation. The word seduction makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and honestly, that's because it's been misunderstood for so long. Most people hear seduction and immediately think of manipulation, games, or someone being dishonest to get what they want. And yes, seduction can absolutely be used that way. But that's not what it actually is at its core. Real seduction is the art of creating an emotional experience for another person. It's about making someone feel seen, desired, special, and excited, intentionally and with care. A great storyteller uses seduction. A brilliant teacher uses it. A loving partner who plans a surprise date and makes their significant other feel completely wanted. That's seduction. It becomes toxic only when it's used without honesty or respect. When the goal is to manipulate rather than to genuinely connect in relationships, healthy seduction is actually what keeps the spark alive. It's what stops two people from becoming just roommates who share a bed. It's the effort, the intentionality, the way you look at someone and make them feel like the only person in the room. Understanding seduction as a positive, intentional skill, not a dirty word, is something that can completely transform your relationship. When both partners understand how to create emotional experiences for each other, the relationship stays alive, exciting, and deeply fulfilling for years. 4. The psychology behind why we confuse the two. Here's something really fascinating from a psychological standpoint. The reason most people confuse attraction and seduction is because they often happen at the same time and they feel similar in the moment. When you meet someone new and everything feels electric, it's hard to tell what's a raw natural attraction and what's the result of that person's intentional behavior pulling you in. And that confusion isn't a flaw, it's actually by design. Our brains aren't wired to stop and analyze every feeling in real time. We feel first, think later, but when you start developing emotional intelligence, which is really just the ability to understand your own feelings and where they come from, you start to notice the difference. You notice when you're genuinely drawn to someone versus when someone is doing all the right things to make you feel a certain way, and this awareness is incredibly powerful in relationships. It helps you make better decisions about who you let into your life. It helps you understand why certain relationships feel amazing at first and then suddenly feel empty, because they were built mostly on seduction without real underlying attraction. It also helps you be more intentional about your own behavior. Instead of just reacting emotionally, you start showing up with purpose. You understand what you actually feel, what the other person might be feeling, and what your relationship actually needs in each moment. That kind of awareness is genuinely life changing. Be honest, have you ever mistaken seduction for real attraction in a relationship? Drop your story in the comments. You might be surprised how many people feel exactly the same way. 5. How attraction fades and what that actually means. One of the most common things people say about long term relationships is the attraction just disappeared. And if you've ever felt that, you know how confusing and painful it can be. One day everything feels exciting and you can't get enough of this person. And then slowly, without really noticing, that feeling fades. But here's what psychology actually tells us about this. Attraction doesn't just randomly disappear, it changes, and understanding how it changes is one of the most practical things you can ever learn about relationships. In the early stages of a relationship, attraction is heavily driven by novelty, uncertainty, and chemistry. Your brain is literally flooding itself with dopamine every time you see this person. But over time, as you get to know someone deeply, that neurological response naturally comes down. This doesn't mean the attraction is gone. It means it's maturing. A deep, lasting attraction is quieter but more stable. It's the feeling of complete comfort with someone, of being fully known, and it's the chosen of looking at someone after years together and still feeling grateful they're yours. The problem happens when people mistake the coming of early passion for the death of attraction, and they either panic and start pulling away, or they stop putting in effort altogether. The truth is, attraction in a long-term relationship needs to be tended to through respect, through growth, through keeping your own identity alive outside the relationship. Take care of yourself, keep growing, stay curious about life, and you'll naturally stay attractive to your partner and to yourself. 6. How seduction works in long term relationships. A lot of people think seduction is only for the beginning of a relationship, for dating, for impressing someone. No, but honestly, the couples who stay deeply connected for years are the ones who never stop seducing each other. And no, that doesn't mean a grand gestures every single day. Seduction in a long-term relationship looks completely different from early dating, but it's just as important as the next you send in the middle of the day just to say you're thinking about them. It's making eye contact across a crowded room and smiling like you share a secret. It's remembering the small things they mentioned months ago and showing up with exactly that. It's creating an environment where your partner feels consistently desired, valued, and emotionally safe with you. From a psychological perspective, what keeps long-term attraction alive is a feeling of being chosen, and not just once at the beginning, but over and over again every single day. When your partner feels like you're still choosing them, still making effort, still finding them interesting and desirable, the seduction at its most powerful and its most loving. And this works both ways. Relationships thrive when both people are actively creating positive emotional experiences for each other. If only one person is putting in that effort, the imbalance creates distance, resentment, and disconnection. So, if you're in a long term relationship and things feel a little flat lately, ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you genuinely tried to make your partner feel special? Start there. Just subscribe and you'll get access to all the tutorials. Simple as that. 7. The dangerous trap when seduction replaces a real connection. Here's where things get really important and honestly a little uncomfortable, because as powerful as seduction is, it can become a trap, and a lot of people fall into this trap without even realizing it. The trap looks like this: someone becomes so good at creating emotional experiences, so skilled at saying the right thing and doing the right things, that they never actually build a real, authentic connection. Underneath all of it, everything looks great on the surface. The relationship feels exciting and passionate, but there's no real depth, no genuine vulnerability, no true understanding between the two people, and eventually, sometimes months later, sometimes years, one or both people start to feel there's emptiness they can't quite explain. They have everything that's supposed to feel good, but something is missing. That missing thing is real intimacy, real attraction. The deep kind requires vulnerability. It requires letting someone actually see you, not just a version of yourself you've carefully curated. When seduction becomes a wall that keeps people from getting truly close, it stops being a tool for connection and it starts being a barrier to it. The healthiest relationships are built on both the natural, authentic attraction that comes from genuinely knowing each other and the intentional seduction that keeps things exciting and alive. One without the other always creates problems. So check in with yourself and your relationships. Are you letting people actually see the real you, or are you hiding behind performance? 8. How to use both attraction and seduction to build something real. So now that you understand the real difference between attraction and seduction, the question becomes, how do you actually use both of them in a way that builds something genuinely beautiful and lasting? And the answer starts with one simple but powerful shift in mindset. Stop trying to get and stop focusing on becoming and giving. Attraction grows when you focus on becoming the most authentic, grounded, and emotionally healthy version of yourself, not for anyone else, for you. When you work on your self awareness, your emotional regulation, your confidence, your values, and your ability to be truly present with another person, attraction follows naturally. You don't have to chase it. Seduction, on the other hand, is about giving. It's about intentionally creating positive emotional experiences for the people you care about. It's about paying attention, being thoughtful, making effort, and showing up with purpose in your relationships. Together, these two things are becoming more genuinely yourself and intentionally giving more to others, creating the kind of relationships most people spend their whole lives looking for. Not perfect relationships, but real ones built on honest connection, mutual respect, consistent effort, and genuine desire. Whether you're single, newly dating, or years into a committed relationship, start applying this today. Work on yourself, be intentional with the people you love, and remember, the most attractive thing anyone can ever be is genuinely, unapologetically themselves. That's the real secret, and now you know it. Thank you for showing up for your relationship. That alone says a lot about you. Now go invite the person you love to join you on this journey because growth is always better together. You too deserve an amazing life. Go build it. See you in the next one and make every moment count.